Good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday, and we're ready for some nice writing, aren't we? I know I am. Let me just put this here. As per usual, our little pinned message, and actually pin it. All right, it's Wednesday. Actually, why isn't that... sorry, just my stream frame. I just moved it as I was about to go live, and it looked weird. And then I sort of realized, why am I not locking the position? Anyway, that's a little bit of stream behind the scenes. Whoops, I'm behind the scenes for you. How are you guys doing? It is on this nice Wednesday. It's still really cold in Denmark, and today has been really like... it hasn't rained, but it's been really cloudy. And I don't know. It's not the May that I wanted. Anyway, so I did a little bit of writing yesterday. And as you can see here by my word count document, I didn't get very far. I actually... Oops. Whoa, what did I do? Oh, I pressed it wrong. Right. I actually did write for 3 hours yesterday, and I only got 776 words. Hello, streamer. Hello, Blaze Flame. How are we doing, dude? I hope things are going well. Anyway, what I was saying was because I've of course started chapter 18 now. Well, I guess we started it last time, and I sort of had to keep going. So what has happened is that Vespa has met the devil. Not the literal devil, but a devil. A Daevil. Devil. I'm not sure how I want that to be pronounced, but I think I want it to be spelled like I do in the title. Daevil. What are you doing? I know what I am writing, says Blaze Flame. Well, that's good to know, Blaze. Easy Lauren is here as well. Welcome, dude. Good to see you in the chat. But yeah, anyway. So I do actually find myself having a little bit of trouble describing things in this realm of death. And I don't think it's very good what I've written so far. But anyway. Vespa sort of realized, like, this Ashmandaeus, as he's called, who is a devil, like he red skin, you know, half man, half goat, basically, large horns, you know, kind of a traditional devil figure in Christianity. Flame says, when are we gonna meet the angel? It's not very good. We all say that about our first draft. That's true. You know what? The angel, I actually had this. I'm probably not gonna do it like that, but let's just have a new. Just so I want to prove a point. So Daevil, right? That's the devils, and I figured we could do this angel. It's still the same way you pronounce it, angel, right? Daevil, angel. That could totally work. But I know it was a joke question, but we're not gonna meet any angels in this story. So Laura asks, are you having trouble describing the environment or some other aspect of the realm of death? I think it's a bit of both, a bit of everything, because I want it to be so particular. I sort of just got to a point where I was like, okay, whatever, I'll fix it in post at some point, where I feel like I really nail it. That's so redundant, man. It's good. I like it. I know. I like the the angel, the devil angel. It has a bit of a Game of Thrones vibe to it with the way he did maesters. Anyway, shall we have a little bit of a read? Where's my... It's here. Angles. Angles. That could be funny. I think you already made that joke, actually. Anyway. So... Vespa is in the realm of death. She's reunited with Lemon. She's seen this great big white wall. And she was just about to walk towards it when someone behind her is talking. Although they're not really talking because their mouth aren't moving. But someone is talking to her. And she's like, oh, she's looking at him, describing him as a bit of a goat man. And then she asks, "Are you a devil?" Vespa blurted out, or she would have if voice escaped her open mouth. She had realized that the being in front of her matched the terrible goat men, the bringers of all evil in the world, that the chapters and the teachings of the 5 pillars preach against. The goat man looked at Vespa with the most shining yellow eyes she had ever seen. It was as if he was looking at her deepest thoughts with no escape from his stern gaze. But despite the lack of voice, Vespa was sure that he heard her. He had heard her. Oops. She had heard her. A feeling confirmed when the being finally spoke. "I am," he answered, still without moving his lips. The goat man had the same spoken manners as Reinaith. I don't know, that sounds a bit weird, but... Are we in Gehenna? If Vespa could feel sadness, her heart would have dropped to her stomach. She knew that she caused a lot of trouble, but to end up in Gehenna, the city of eternal torment... I feel like I missed something here. There's definitely something wrong with this sentence. Okay, whatever. To end up in Gehenna, the city of eternal torment. Something. But none of it was as bad as what the chapters preached against. That's already been said once. At least she didn't think so. So, this is repeat. And... something is missing. Something is missing. I wonder what I was thinking when I wrote that. Missing. Bevels and angles. Oh, that's a good one. Bevels and angles. At least she didn't think so. Was she dead? Vespa tried to remember what had happened before waking up here in the golden fields, but it was all just a blur. There's a lot of buts here. A lot. Question mark. But this wasn't a city, and it didn't feel bad being here, so maybe she wasn't in Gehenna, and maybe she wasn't dead. Besides, Lemon was here with her. She didn't know how the souls of animals were judged by the 5 pillars, but she was absolutely sure that Lemon didn't deserve eternal punishment. No, the goat man replied with a slight smile on his closed mouth, revealing a couple of large fangs. The 2 of you are not in Gehenna. The 2 of you... are not in Gehenna. So they weren't dead after all. Unless this was Haven. It didn't match what she had been told, though. And she didn't have to climb any broken pillars to get here. But before she could ask again, the goat man interrupted her. I sense that you have a great many questions, his rough voice sounded. I'm afraid that I cannot answer them all, nor do we have the time to do so. Something that probably when he met him, when she was about to walk towards the white gate, the white wall in the gate, something told her, this is not for you yet. And then he said, neither is this realm, you're not supposed to be here yet. So a little bit of a... This is the guy who's going to get her back into the lands of the living. Lemon chirped, looking intensely back at the goat man. All right, I can ask, Vespa replied. Lemon wants to know. I understood her just fine. The goat man stopped Vespa's translation. With a held up hand, red as a rose with sharp fingernails. He wasn't wearing armor in any of his hands, Vespa noticed. And we're off. But yeah, I'm just not very happy with how things have been going in this chapter, writing wise. I don't think we're quite in the territory of chapter 12. That was a never-ending chapter that needs a complete rewrite. But I definitely need to. I already know that I need to look much more deeply into this one once we're done with it. I think I already have it on my revision list, don't I? Yeah, we have chapter 18, clear descriptions of the spirit realm. No air, no sound. In general, probably needs an overhaul. Vespa noticed. I kind of like this, though, that Lemon's chirping and Vespa is just like, she's just like translating. She doesn't even realize. Of course, that's going to come in chapter 19, when she actually realized, wow, I can understand Lemon. I can understand exactly what she's saying. Vespa noticed. She herself was still wearing her plated gauntlet. On her left hand. My name is Asmodeus. There was a hint of hurry. There was a hint of hurry in the devil's speak. Since there's no voice, I guess I need to use words like speak, such. Oh, that's also something that I need to consider actually. Should we have all of the different champions from the prologue in this realm of death? And not just Ashmodeus. All of the prologue champions except Reynard. Of course. Be in the realm of death. I don't know, I just sort of figured that it could be kind of cool to have her meet all of them and they each get to say something. And not just this guy, but I guess right now we're continuing with just it, because as the story is now, all of the champions except Ashmodeus, all of their souls are in their weapons. Like Reynard is in the Warhammer. But my problem with that is why can she not hear the others than except for Reynard? That's sort of a little bit of a corner I think I've written myself into. Would any of them not be there? Just a thing to spice things up. Yeah, so I know you joined a little late, Iseloren, but if you were here from the beginning, all the way back in the prologue, we have this great big battle, good versus evil, and these 5 champions. We have a human, a dwarf, a devil, an elf, and a fey folk. Ashmodeus is the devil. Reynard is the fey folk. And so my idea is that each of them would be in their spirits would be in their respective weapons as sort of a safeguard thing. But Ashmodeus isn't there because his tomb is like there's been a cave in and his tomb is destroyed along with his weapon. So that's sort of the thing, that Ashmodeus isn't anymore in the living, in the mortal realm. His spirit is here in the realm of the dead, realm of death. But I don't know if it would be cooler that 4 of them, 4 out of 5, would actually be in the realm of death. But that's just something that I need to figure out at some point. So like the last piece of this safeguard is Reynard. That could maybe be kind of cool if it was like that. That was a really, really quick recap of the prologue and the stories that I have with these champions. Ashmodeus. Also, I don't remember if that was the right way. Where is my prologue? Do. Prologue is right here. Ashmodeus. It is spelled correctly. Good. Good. And now I don't remember if Reynard has spoken of this guy. I think he has. Well, we're gonna continue as if he had. Just that. Ashmodeus. Vespa thought about that name. For a little while. Though she could not say how long, though she could for how long. Ashmodeus. She finally asked after what could have been, after what could have been an eternity, or the blink of an eye could have been an eternity, or a simple blink of her eyes. I figured that was actually a pretty good way of saying that time feels weird in this realm. You were one of the original. Maybe she wouldn't use the word original. You'll probably use the word first. Original sons. Renaith, that's wrong. Renaith. There we have it. Renaith. told me about you. Vespa was excited as she remembered the name of the being in front of her. I think I'm repeating this a lot. Repeating. Of the being. This is so strange. Like, I'm pretty sure that I said out loud the words that I wanted to write, and then I just don't write them. I know I said this so many times, but it just baffles me. Oh, actually, maybe. You know of Reina. I was just thinking if you should say anything more, but probably not. Vespa nodded. In response, he told me that you were a great warrior. Told me that you were a great warrior. Now I don't actually remember what they said. I don't even remember what chapter that was in when they had that conversation. It must have been in like chapter 10 or something. Vespa gets more and more tired. No. Maybe. That's when you learn about Fae folk. Maybe it was chapter 12. Or maybe it was chapter 12 actually. Well, the never ending chapter. Interesting. This is where we are right now. So yeah, I need to make sure at some point that this, what she says now, aligns with what Reina actually told her in the chapter. That no foe could stand in your way when whoops, once again. No, the devil's red hand went up. Hey, Miss Bloggers here. Welcome. How are you doing? How is your fantasy, contemporary, paranormal romance working out? I hope you're doing well. And Devil's red hand went up. First of all, let's just make sure align with earlier chapters. Just to make sure. Signifying. Let's go with that. Signifying his interruption. Vespa obliged and stopped. Stopped right away. While there is not much that I would want more. Then to... Oops. Then to hear from an old friend. Then to hear from an old friend. Ashmodeus. Asmodeus. Continued. Or something like that. Lauren says, I'm new to everything. A dreamer. I'm sorry, what is that in relation to? I'm new to everything. Oh, was it just to miss bloggers? Okay, yeah. It's good to be a dreamer. The comment above, yeah. It's like I said last time, just not used to when chat messages aren't for me. Days began. The hurry was back. Vespa felt. It just sort of hit me. I've actually accidentally made a pretty good connection between something. So earlier when Vespa and Squire Ronin were fighting, she pushed on his spirit somewhere here. Blah, blah, blah. Here. Enormous push, letting out a piercing yell of back and forth, and it worked. Blah blah. So what's actually going to happen now is that Ashmodeus is going to make a push on Lemon and Vespa, their spirit, and they're gonna get back into the realm of the living like that. So it's actually sort of a little bit of a cool promise, and I guess not payoff, but connection, promise and progress. Nice. And I did it accidentally. She saw a worry in the shining yellow eyes. As well. Oops. Like I said, actually, it will have to be some other time. Like I said, like I mentioned, yours is running out. And the two, no, not the two of you, and you, neither of you, let's go with that, neither of you are supposed to be here. Vespa was confused. I don't remember if I mentioned this before, but I found this YouTube channel from a professional editor. The YouTube channel was called The Plottery, which is a great name for a channel. And she talked about this, like one of the first signs of a really inexperienced writer. And she saw that all the time, so it's not like it's bad or anything. It's like one of these Vespa obliged. Ashmodeus began. Vespa thought up here. And she just talked about a little bit about how it's a good idea to shake things up. And ever since I saw that, I've kept like, I just see that I do that same thing all the time. I don't know. It's not like it's bad writing necessarily. It's just like a variety is good, right? That's why I, for example, try it up here instead of saying, "My name is Ashmodeus. The devil's speak was hurried. Devil spoke in a hurry," or something. There was a hint of hurry in the devil's speak. It's just a different way of phrasing it, right? It's just so funny when you sort of learn, not the rules, but when you become aware of something, and it's just like, oh, right, you can't unsee it afterwards. Let me just have a little bit of it. That could be a pretty good, clip, maybe. The Plottery advice. Should totally go check her out. She's pretty good. I just thought of it because I was about to write Vespa was confused, or something like that, where we could instead write confusion grew in Vespa's mind or something. Yeah, something like that. Confusion. Confusion. Did I see the same or similar note a few streams above? You probably did. Miss Blogger tend to write that comment in the chat and doesn't necessarily follow up on it, which is a bit funny. But I am nonetheless happy to have everyone here. Let's go with Gru. She is a fae folk after all, so I kind of like the using the terminology of plants and growing in when I talk about fae folk, and then when we talk about the paladins, it's terminology like it's water based. Maybe that could actually be a pretty good like distinction or foreshadowing using terminology like that. Use plant terminology for Vespa. Water for paladin. Of course, it doesn't actually help with her imagination of the stream in the forest when she uses when she starts to control magic, but I'm not entirely sure of that metaphor or that plot point. Within Vespa. What do you mean? Our time is running out. It's Ashmandaeus. Ashmandaeus. Took a moment. Oops. Or maybe it was a long time, very long time. A very long time. To choose his next words. His next words. Choose his next words. Complicated. Complicated. He finally added. Vespa had trouble seeing. But the Daevil continued. Before she could add anything? Before she could just say anything, I guess. No, not say anything. I have another word in mind. Before she could interject. Maybe it's a bit of a highbrow word. Interrupt. Remark anything. Let's go with that. Before she could remark anything. Yes. I just sort of lost my train of thought there. That's nice. In essence, the longer you stay, the more danger, Isilora says, jump onto another train of thought. Who knows where it goes? That's true. That's true. Wouldn't that be something in a book? And just in the middle of everything, you just jump to a different conversation or something. The more danger. The greater the danger, the greater the danger. Everyone can see that says greater the danger. The greater the danger. Comes you will need to return return to your own realm. Own realm. Sooner rather than later. Sooner rather than later. Come closer. And please do not waste any precious time. Do not waste any of our precious time, your precious time. Easy Lauren says, not everyone needs to be able to read your draft, but if no one can read it, then there's a problem. Yeah, if I myself have trouble reading what I write, that's a giant problem. I can say that, of course, I haven't digitized any of this book yet, but my short stories, there's been times where I don't know what it said, my writing, mostly because like it was the same situation where I had removed stuff and tried to add new stuff. And I often find myself stumbling on a comment that past me did. It's just, I don't know. I have made comments in the past that were just emojis. Just like a thinking smiley. And as I get, like, I know it made total sense when I made it. But then like a month passed or something, and you know, you get to that comment and it's just a emoji. And you're just like, what on earth was I thinking? Maybe I should make like short form videos with some of my best, like compilation of my best comments to myself. That could actually be kind of fun. I'm pretty sure I actually talked about that common thing multiple times. It's okay. Repetition is good. Repetition is good for you, right? Okay, so Vespa hesitated. There was as much. Whoops. Oh my god. As much hesitation in Vespa steps as there was hurry in the Devil's voice. Devil's voice. Is it speak? Oh, sugar. Whoops. Let's see. It looks weird still. Like that, maybe. No. There we have it. I think. There it is. No. Trying to get it to be even again. I think. Okay, maybe that works. That works. Okay. Whoops. Slam camera. That's the trouble with being so close to your equipment. Just knock it out of the park. The camera needed a closer look, yeah. I bet that was it, yeah. It was definitely not me being clumsy. No. Please, child. Ashman Day has pleaded. Ashman. Okay, what is up with my M's today? There are these long things, it feels like. Like almost just a, well, that probably wasn't the best example, but I feel like I've made multiple of them now that are just like, that's supposed to be a U, by the way. almost just a line. Please, child, Asmodeus pleaded. His red hand now stretched, and there we have it. Well, we have the page 244. Here we come. New page hype. Whoop whoop. Also, I misspelled stretched. It's supposed to be T in there. Stretched out. In a manner of welcome. Is welcome the right word here? I don't know. Oops. Correct word. Please, we must hurry. We must hurry. As she approached, the Daevil with lemon. See, that's what I'm talking about. What is that? That is a terrible M. How? It's also like going beneath the line. Still in her arms. Vespa noticed that he was standing that where he was standing. Easy Lauren says, I have trouble writing 5s sometimes. They look like 3s sometimes because I write the top line first, write the bottom part starting at the halfway point of the line. Irritates me to no end. It's so weird, like, it's just something you do, right? Because that's how you learn to or adapt it to writing, so you just do it even though you're aware that it really irritates you. That's something you're gonna see plenty of on this stream, Easy Lauren. I usually have, it's weird, but I usually have like a new letter each stream that I have trouble writing, or like a new letter every few streams. It's so weird, and it's usually E's, F's, or is it S's? I don't know the P's, I think maybe too. It's been all sorts of letters. It's super weird. Also, that's weird. It's not like consistently the same letter. I think that's really strange because I don't think I do anything differently. Cursive R's have haunted you for a few streams. That's true. That's mostly because I realized that the way I make the R's is wrong. Talking about the adaptation to how you write. Well, that's true. I pretty much just conceded that I'm just gonna make my own type of R's. Oh yeah, and that's all. Yeah, I'll call also that they look like V's sometimes. That's true. That does haunt me actually. It haunts me more. That's true. Vespa noticed that where he was standing. No. None of the golden grass was growing. Flaveswim says other rebut. What? I feel like that was. I feel like that's in the context of talking about R's, but I'm not sure I understand it. Instead, the ground still with a golden shimmer. Was drawn upon. No. Trebuchet is a great word and a great siege weapon. Easily top 3 siege weapons. Was littered. Oh no, cluttered, scattered, sprinkled. Strewn is a good one. I kind of want to say that the ground, like there was symbols in the ground, symbols and lines. Scribbled, yeah. But I think I wrote the sentence wrong. Then danger. You know, let's use scribbled. Or scribbled for now, and then when we digitize it, when we revise it, we can change the whole sentence to accommodate the word scribbled better. Scribbled with but are they well written? Scribbled might be the correct, not be the correct word in that case. I think scribbled is fine because it's like in the ground. You know what? Let's just make a comment with it. See, word smudged. Well, not really smudged because it's not. You know, it's like, you know, when if you write with a stick in the ground. I mean, littered was my initial thought. That might be the one. Whatever. It's scribbled now. It's fine. With strange symbols around a circular pattern. Oh yeah, ends is also one, as you could see. Well, yes, it is. Well, it's not a ciphertext. It's actually going to be Elven symbols, but Vespa is not like, she can't read it. Symbols that Vespa thought she had seen before, but she couldn't quite place them. Along the outer circle. Maybe just a circle. Five 5 flames were floating. Freely in the air, freely. Actually, 4 flames. Four yellow flames. 4 yellow. Scratched. Wow. Oh my god. Oh, Flation was 30 minutes late. No! I was starting something completely different. Okay. Now some of your responses make more sense than Flaves. Please. I guess that's the trouble with YouTube live streaming, right? Engraved is actually a good word. Engraved or scratched, yeah. Golden shimmer doesn't feel scratched. That is true, but engraved might actually be a good word to use. Engraved, let's just... might actually be a real good word to use. I looked at it as if one was missing. And in the middle of it all, Ashmodeus stood with his outstretched hand. Stand here. Ashmodeus grabbed her shoulders. Gently, and gently. And gently placed Vespa just outside the circle. Just. Just outside the circle. Closer to one of the yellow flames. Then she would have liked. She realized she quickly realized though that the flame didn't emanate any heat, how do you spell emanate? Emanate. Please. Okay, so it's just with one M. Emanate. Any heat. Vespa would have wanted to take a closer look closer look at the strange places. But Asmodeus Asmodeus continued. No. Started talking again. His lips still not moving. Now, when you get back, ugh, what was that? You must promise me promise me something. Ashmandaeus looked at his shining yellow eyes and boring into Vespa's copper ones. Hypnotic. Mesmerizing. It still looks like my camera isn't exactly. It looks a bit odd, doesn't it? Like there's a little bit of an angle to it. Probably not important, but it just annoys me. Oh well. She was so mesmerized by them that she could have been convinced Mr. Lawrence says, I have not thought of anything to write about yet. I have a general theme and feel for what I want to write, but I don't have that core of the story that I want to tell. I'm not sure how others find that thing that makes them go, yes, here is a story. I totally get what you mean. I think there are ways you can sort of force yourself if you really want to. Force yourself to start thinking about story ideas and how you can incorporate them. I think a brainstorming session can always be good. Just write down everything, everything you can think of, and maybe ideas come from that. This particular idea for a story, actually, like, it's not like it's helping, but that sort of came to me out of nowhere, like lightning from a clear sky. I was supposed to spend the evening writing on a short story. I think it was Calamity. It was either Calamity or Danger. So either my first or my second short story. And I just could not get started. And then suddenly I was like, what if this would happen? I did have something to start from, though. Like you said, you had a general theme and a feel. Those are two very, very good starting points. Even if you don't quite know what the story should be about. I had a World of Warcraft character. I'm a huge World of Warcraft fan. Played it, well, don't play it right now, but I used to play it all the time. And my main hero was a gnome warrior, female gnome warrior with ruby hair called Eveningsun. And I always wanted to play a paladin as her. And then I was like, hey, I can make her my own story in my own universe, and I can have her become a paladin. And then that was sort of the spark that started the start of the story. Like, okay, I had a story of how she became a paladin. So that started with World of Warcraft, a video game character, believe it or not. So what I'm trying to say is, like, the inspiration can happen anytime and anywhere. I do think that you can do some creative things like brainstorming, maybe just noting down ideas, noting down inspirations as you come across them. What you think was cool about Lord of the Rings, what you think was cool about Star Wars, or a movie you saw, or another book you read. And then I think the more it's on your mind, the idea is gonna come to you like that, some unexpected moment probably. So don't fret and don't stress about it. There is also, like as Brandon Sanderson talks about, you don't necessarily have to be super original especially not with your first book, right? I'm very aware of that. That's why I'm writing what I am writing. Like, I don't expect this first book to be very original, but I do intend to write the best story that I can. But like Brandon Sanderson says, Dune is Hamlet is the Lion King, right? It's basically the same story, but none of them feels like a copy of each other. They all feel fresh. So, that could also be, is there a particular story that you like? Maybe not copy it, but get inspired by that and make at least the first draft or whatever, something similar, but have it incorporate your general theme and the and the feel that you want to write is lower. And I think that could also be a way of doing things. Let's have that as a little, maybe something. Idea / core story plus inspiration for me. I don't know if it made a whole lot of sense. I hope it did. But yeah, don't worry about it. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Don't stress about it. But I totally get where you're coming from. That's also why I started with short stories. It was one, because I had never really written anything that wasn't a school project before. So I figured short stories, while a different beast, would be a good place to start, because you can sort of leave it open-ended and jump right into the middle of things. And two, I didn't actually have an idea for an entire book story at that point. I also don't like this sentence. Let's just go, she was mesmerized by them. Yeah, that's way better. Promise me that you will find my talisman. Oh, he continued. It is a it is a small charm of a glass-like appearance. Pale with glittering stars. With glittering suns embedded. and it is of utmost importance I don't know if that's too mysterious. I think it's alright. I of course don't want to be too explicit. Oh, I just realized something, Easy Lauren, if you're still here. Maybe do try to think about short stories that you could write with that feel and theme you have in mind. Because I've heard of other writers starting short stories and ending up actually discovering an entire book from it. It's just get going and trying things out. And I can see it. I think Danger is probably the one where I felt this could be a cool adventure, actually. This could be like the beginning of a very cool adventure. And I do have thoughts on where I want the little girl and Parthisax to go, as those characters are called. Well, the little girl have a name, but I don't want to spoil that. So yeah, that's one way you could do things. Another way you could do things. And you know, that could also take some pressure off of having to think of an entire book for starters. Because I do actually think that's a really big hurdle when you're starting out. It was for me. The whole, oh, I've never written a book before. Where do I start? How do I start? Do I even have... I thought when I was challenged to do 50,000 words for a book, which, you know, if we have a look at the progress bar, was here in November, I was super worried that I did not have enough of a story to fill out 50,000 words. And now we're closing in on 100,000. So, you know, discovering as you go. But that's also the fun of it, that you discover it as you go. I love that. What? Vespa had some trouble. Had some trouble letting go. No. Thinking of words to say. Still being captured. By the Daevil's gaze. Well, what is a talisman? Lauren says, I'm looking for that spark, I guess. The central anchor of the story that makes the story worth telling. I guess just free writing or writing short stories will get the ball rolling. Yeah, exactly. That's what I think that's likely to happen. I think a big part of it is sitting down and writing something. It can be anything. It can even be a diary. Because the reflection process is often really important. Yeah, maybe I'll find that spark along the way. Exactly. And like, it doesn't have to be the spark. If like, let me try to explain. Like, I have a dream of writing something akin to the Brothers Lionheart, because it's such a beautiful story, and I think I said it before. I have said it before. That book, that children's book, will be my magnum opus if I ever can get to write that. But I also know that I need more skills and practice and all that, and I don't quite have the idea. I have some ideas jotted down for it, but I don't, like you said, I don't really have that core, that spark. I just know that I want to write it. So I start with another story, start with another book, I start with short stories, and then I'm sure at some point I'm going to get that idea and believe in myself that I have enough skill to start writing that magnum opus. And it's going to be great, but it's probably going to be like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 books down the road or something. If I ever get there. But that is a dream of mine. A big dream of mine. It is a relic of my people. There was a sadness Was there a sadness? Vespa couldn't feel sad. Vespa couldn't feel sad before. To Ashmodeus. Ashmodeus's response as if he had lost something very dear to him. A relic. How long is this chapter going on for, by the way? Oh my god, it's almost 10 pages. No. There we have it. 38. Okay. So 6 pages so far. That seems more reasonable. A relic. That was supposed to keep my soul until such a time. My soul when my life flamed out. Keep it until keep it until such a time came where it could be useful. Could be useful. Nope. Oh my god. So it looks like I have transitioned into not knowing how to write F's now from M's. Very cool, very nice. One final time. But due to the circumstances, my soul never entered. I'm sort of trying to have like this final, a little bit mysterious dialogue. Oh, this looks weird with my my sleeves, the screen. A little bit of mysterious dialogue, and then we want to convert that into like the ending of the chapter. Which in my mind is going to be actually rather abrupt. So Vespa is going to... He's gonna plead for her to promise that she'll find the talisman, which is not going to have anything to do in this book, but it is a promise for book 2 or 3, maybe both. Don't know how that'll go down. Oh. My speaker's gonna start screaming at me soon. And then he's gonna be, and then Ashmodeus is going to be like, good, very good. Speaking in the same manner as Renaid, actually, yeah. And before she can say anything else, he's going to push her soul back into the realms of the living. And then the chapter is going to end, and next chapter is going to start with her waking up as if she was drowning or something, heaving for air. So that's the plan. That's the plan right now. So I'm not sure if this is the right word I want to use. Word. Ugh. Find it and keep it safe. On your body like I did. Whoops. Trust me. Can you promise me that? Yes. Vespa wasn't sure exactly where that determination came from. Determination. Came from, but she nonetheless felt like she would do anything to find this talisman. Good. That is good. The Daevil responded. Finally. Letting Vespa's eyes free. For a moment, he sounded exactly like, exactly like Renee. Where can I find... Oh. Vespa barely got. Got her question. Barely, she didn't get her. Cross. Didn't get. Didn't get. Oops. Before she was immediately interrupted. That was the end of page 244. Let's go page 245. Woo! New page hype. Whoop whoop. Hey, Lauren says, after some thinking, I do know the core of my story, but I don't know how to add the substance to it. I guess you just have to write something. The synopsis of it would be a community of people survive and overcome hardship through compassion and collaboration, inspired by the pillars of the earth. That is a good book. That is an amazing book. That's a very good book to be inspired of, but I can definitely see why it is also a bit daunting when that's your inspiration. But that is, and I know I keep harping on this point, but that is my go-to advice. It is just to write something, anything. Okay, the plot is not my inspiration, just the feeling of it. Yeah, but still, like when you get inspired by something so great as that, like I was inspired by Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, and that honestly kept me. I think that kept me from beginning to actually write something for the first many years. I knew I wanted to build a world and have my own fantasy stuff. But yeah, I was reading A Song of Ice and Fire and it was amazing. But I also I'm not sure I can do anything like this. The way he writes political intrigue and all that. And honestly, I'm not sure I want to now. But back then it really kept me. Because such a great work was my inspiration. It actually, I think it kept me from beginning. And then I remember I read The Witcher, the first couple of books that are short stories. And I remember thinking, hey, I could write short stories. And I read Pillars of the Earth as well. And I remember thinking, oh, you don't have to be super detailed about the environment to make a compelling book, or about the food they're wearing, or they're eating, or the clothes they're wearing. Because that guy who wrote Pillars of the Earth, I don't remember his name. I should have it somewhere here. Oh, we can see it. He came from the thriller genre, I believe. So he took a lot of that with him into Pillars of the Earth. And there's just an entirely different way of building a story. Flame says, daunting inspiration. Now you're talking my language. My inspiration is a beloved space opera that I cannot ever hope to even match. Political intrigue is perfect for me. Yeah, I think I'm much more of a... Well, I would like to say I'm an epic fantasy guy. I don't know if it's going to be epic. That's also a big ask, I feel like. But I'm much more Lord of the Rings than A Song of Ice and Fire in the stories that I want to tell. But yeah, that can be a bit daunting. Just be careful. That's what I'm trying to say. It's great to be inspired, but don't let it hinder you in trying to start. I actually played the video game of Pillars of the Earth. I have not actually read the book by inspiration. Yeah, inspiration is inspiration, and it's the same story, right? I get really inspired by movies as well. Like most of my inspiration is because that's still a story. It may be a different framework of a story, but it's still stories. And watching Brandon Sanderson's writing lectures, he uses movies all the time to illustrate points. Plays Fame says the balance of power that is one step from failing in politics is always so interesting, but I'm trying to limit it because I kind of focus more on the war. But politics has quite a massive role in war, so it's unavoidable. Yeah, it does. So I lost before she was immediately interrupted. We have no time. I'm afraid. The hurry was back in Ashmodeus' words. Ashmodeus. He gently placed his right red hand upon Lemon and Vespa's chest, while holding her in place. By her shoulder. With his left. Give Renate my wishes. I don't know if that's a greeting. Probably isn't. Give Renate my wishes. and tell him, oops, that I look for what? To seeing him again. Though he does not need to rush, though he does not need to rush. Isidore says the Expanse has some good politics in it, along with the main characters on the ground living through the consequences of it all. The Expanse, I've heard that before. Is that a science fiction thing? Hey, we just passed two. Well, maybe this is the last, not the last, but this is the line where we passed 2 pages today. It's good. Can we get to 3? Maybe. A book series and a TV series, okay. I've never seen it. Like I've mentioned, I'm so much of a fantasy guy that I've actually... Star Wars is usually my only sci-fi thing that I watch. But, I don't know. I've been getting better at it. I love the Fifth Element now that you mentioned it before, actually. I love that. I recently watched it again. It's very good. Whoops. The devil... closed his eyes. And looked as if he was taking a deep breath. This will be uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. I am sorry. And okay, so now this is going to be the last of this chapter. So it's going to be like really fast, and then it ends. We want Ashmandaeus to push Vespa and Lemon spirit back into the real world, the world of the living. Oh, I just realized something for the revision list actually. Vespa's left arm doesn't hurt anymore. Doesn't hurt. Should probably be something we should keep or note. In the next instant, the next instant, Ashmondays is shining yellow eyes opened so suddenly. And with a look that was either deep concentration or wild fury, that Vespa almost jumped. In surprise. Would have jumped and surprised. Would have jumped. If it hadn't been for the Daevil holding her. Daevil holding her fast. Is Lawrence says, I think this so suddenly is redundant with the in an instant. You are probably right. I do also know that I tend to use sudden and suddenly quite a lot. Yeah, you're probably right. I know Flame has definitely called me out on it before. I'm just gonna say redundant. I don't know why I kind of always revert back to so suddenly. Oh well. It's words. It's words on a page. It's also supposed to say in the next instant. Up here. But you are totally right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that correction. He flexed Actually, she could feel him flexing is better. Also because he doesn't actually, he's wearing armor, so she can't see him flexing his muscles. She could feel him flexing as hard as he could. Though the great warrior did not move even the tiniest, smallest amount. Smallest amount. Keeping his chosen stance to perfection. His chosen. Vespa barely had time to think about what was happening. Before feeling a forceful push forceful push from the statue-like figure holding her. I don't know. It wasn't amazing the way that paragraph ended. I do like the statue-like though. Just to sort of really reiterate how he does not move. Lauren says, I find that I repeat myself because I want to express my thoughts in a certain way, and then I use the same words multiple times because I don't keep the whole sentence in my head while I write. That's I do that too a lot. It's one of the reasons why my revision takes such a long time. Well, that and the fact that I translated into Danish, and I used the translation as part of the revision process. But that's a good thing about writing with a pen and paper, because once it's down, like, sure, you can erase, but it's just, when it's the first draft, you just you can't go back and edit, so we just have to keep moving. It's honestly one of my favorite parts about writing by hand. And it also feels kind of liberating that you can't go back and edit. Let's see. Can we get to 3 pages today? Maybe. If we go a little over time. Which we can totally do. It wasn't just a push, however. That must have come from the red-skinned just a push. I want to use however here. However, still he was standing. It was more of a storm capable of toppling even the mightiest of trees, mightiest of trees. Or racing. Sturdiest of castles. To the ground. Although Vespa was unsure if she had been breathing, since waking up in this strange place, she now felt she now felt what? As if someone had punched all air from her. Undeserving. Oh no. It's not perfect. Of course, we don't need it to be perfect. From her unexpecting, let's go with that. That's much better. Unexpecting. Lungs and stomach. From unexpecting, lungs and stomach. She fell backwards. Ashmodeus not holding her anymore. At least she thought she fell. Vespa thought she fell. Vespa. But it was as if time had grinded almost to a halt. Her eyes screaming in pain as it slowly returned to her body. Her eyes screaming as pain slowly returned to her body. She saw Ashmodeus still with his statue-like posture. Unbroken. Statue-like posture, unbroken. She saw the never-ending white wall with its actually never-ending wall with its white color burning. Burning her shining copper. I don't know. We just used her eyes before. The pale yellow blurry skies with its two fuzzy ring suns still in front of each other. And then, just as she was about to finally, to hit the tall grass, tall golden fields. At last, she saw only darkness. Ashmandeus, what would be a good nickname? Ash Schmendy? I'll go with Schmendy. Not bad, not bad. I like it, Schmendy. My dragon character in Danger, my short story, he's called Parthisax. Which of course is very much a homage name to Parthenax from Skyrim. I'm not denying that. And it was mostly because I wanted to have a character that I could call Partysax. Nickname him Partysax. Because Parthurnax in Skyrim, his nickname by the internet was Party Snacks. So, yeah, Parthurnax. He is called Parthisax. See if I can find him. Stories, journeys, danger, background. Here, Parthisax. So I have my own nickname for him is Partysax, just like the Epic Sax guy. So nicknames are important. I'm not sure we'll use Schmendy. Maybe we can use it in another in another story. He's not really going to have a lot of. Well, this is basically his only appearance, only other appearance from the prologue. But Schmendy, yeah, it could be like a, because he's very serious. It could be like someone is poking fun at him, calling him Schmendy. Yes, exactly. One of the other guardians call him that to mock him. Yeah, exactly. That could be fun. That could be really fun. Find talisman. Find my was the last thing Vespa heard before the darkness absorbed that as well. Okay, I quite liked most of this paragraph actually. Could be rephrased a little bit, but I quite like the sentiment of it. The last line, maybe not. Anyway, that is the last line of chapter 18, which means we're going to chapter. That was 18. Chapter 19, and in Roman numerals. 19 in Roman numerals. That would be. Oh. XIX, of course. It's 18. It is. Interesting. Very interesting. XIX. Yeah. Okay. I actually kind of just thought it would be like. Now I don't know why I would think it would be like with a V. I don't know what I thought it would be. Anyway, XIX. Chapter 19. A crooked chapter 19. Yes. Yeah, 10 plus minus 1. 10 minus 1, yeah, exactly. I don't know what my mind went to, but whatever. Okay, so chapter 19. Chapter 19 is also the road back. We are introduced, or we are sort of promised. Actually, this is a payoff, I guess, of a promise. Payoff. That Vespa and Lemon have now spirit bonded. Vespa awakens dramatically back in the catacombs, and so does Lemon. After a little confusion, they realize where they are. And Vespa hasn't fully realized that she can understand Lemon. Reina is relieved that Vespa and Lemon are back, but tells of the consequences. Vespa is just fine with that. See, I don't know if I sort of want it like this. I think it should be much more of a confusion. Were they really dead? Maybe even Reina is not telling Vespa that she died. Well, we'll just keep it like this. There's still a problem though. They can't see. Vespa recognizes the smell of rotten food satchel by the wall. She finds the torch and she lights it. Vespa and Reina discusses. Vespa and Reina discusses the next problem, getting out and saving the day. She asks Lemon how he got down there in the first place. Lemon answers that she... Oh. Suddenly realizes that she can understand what Lemon is saying. She notices that vent up by the wall by ceiling. The howling winds are coming from this. It looks small enough for Vespa to climb through. Renee tells her to take the warhammer and him with her. She's reluctant as it didn't work last time. Much to her own surprise, he lifts it up. It's rather heavy. Still rather heavy warhammer and sets the size in getting through the vent. So the general gist is here, but I definitely think I want to do it a little bit differently. First of all, I don't think the warhammer should be really that heavy, even though it is a warhammer, two-handed warhammer. Yeah, the whole death thing should probably be much more veiled, I guess you could say. Is Lauren said the reason... Oh, for the number, yeah, the reason I think is that 4 eyes are difficult to discern. I think you're totally right. I think my mind went to XV1V, which would be 10 plus 5 plus 5 minus 1. But why not just use XIX in that case? I think it's just a little weird how that is... Oh, you can see it. That is XIX, and this seems like it could have been done easier. Like X11V. That would be... No, that doesn't make sense. Never mind. A real warhammer, yes, XIX. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for saying me. A real warhammer is not very different in weight from a sword. Famous blogger with the same comment. So, like I said, I'm coming from a place of Warcraft. And a giant hammer is... I know this is not a real warhammer. I know this is like way bigger than anything actual. But this is sort of what I have in my mind. That's why I call it a warhammer. Other than that, we do have a normal warhammer in my universe as well. No. Weapon, which is this one, which is a one-hander, right? Those would be called mauls in the real world. Oh, I think you're right. Ah, that's true. A maul. Darth Maul. Warhammer. Oh. Oh, okay. It's a long-handed hammer with a heavy head there. It is similar in appearance to the function to a modern sledgehammer. Oh my god, a war maul. I do like the hammer though, but I think you're right. The maul is much more descriptive. I could have just read the Wikipedia article, of course. Then it would be there. I have... Whoops. I have been writing Warhammer though, so I will keep doing that in the first draft, but next time we encounter it, I'll write a comment that says it's actually a maul. Thank you, Lauren. You got plenty of saves here at the end of the live stream. I appreciate it. It doesn't really matter. Nobody thinks of the dainty warhammers when they read that word. That's maybe true. I've distinguished them previously by saying the paladins in general use a one-handed warhammer, or so, a hammer designed to be held with a shield or something like that. And then I just called it a hammer. And I've called this particular one, which is supposed to be a two-hander, I've called that a warhammer. Yeah. It's the first draft. See, we need a couple of more lines to get the 3 pages done for today. Let's do that. Yeah, if they're different, you can use War Maul and Warhammer. True, that was my thinking as well when you just mentioned it. They both exist. They do both exist in my world. Warhammer is just such a cool word, though. So. I could maybe also, because Vespa is a Fey folk, so she's so small. She's like the Hobbit species of my universe. I could say that it was a warhammer, but it looked like a maul to her. Like it was big enough to be a maul, two-handed maul. There's plenty of ways we can do that, but that's for future Thomas to figure out. Vespa. Set up with a jerk supporting herself with shaking arms. On a cold floor. Heaving in so much air. Heaving in so much air that as if what? As if this is going to be a terrible analogy. I want to write something akin to this. As if it was the most delicious water she had ever tasted. This is bad. This is terrible. The most delicious meal. Let's go with that. She had ever tasted. Having gone starving. Hey, that was the end of page 244. 245. 246 new page hype. Whoop whoop. Oh yeah. Having gone starving for weeks. Hey, Lauren says, I love the portrait at the bottom of the Wikipedia page for Warhammers. It looks so tiny in the subject's hand. Oh yeah, this one. It's like if the painter would, like, he only knew how to draw like or paint like swords or what they call fencing rapiers, and then they were like, dude, we need it to be a warhammer, and he was like, oh, well, in that case. It actually, yeah, doesn't it look like that? Oh my god, that's amazing. Well, a good find. Let's have that as possible. You know, one of these, I think I said it last time as well, one of these days I'm going to be making so many short form video clips, but today is not the day. Wikipedia, Warhammer, tiny Warhammer, tiny Warhammer. Oh, okay. You mean Warhammers actually look like that? I feel like that is very small though. This is much more. That's even a little bit stocky. Oh, that actually does have the look of it. That's the exact Warhammer that we just saw on the portrait. Never mind then. Yeah, it might have been a decorative one. That's true. This is Persian. Looks a bit more weapony. This also looks, well, that's more modern. But yeah, it still looks funny. They can't take that away from us. How many lines? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 lines. 6, 7 lines, and then I did not say that. What do you think I said? Never mind. And then that's it for today. We're so used to the Warhammers today. It's not like Warhammers are commonplace anymore. That's true. And it doesn't look that cool, does it? I mean, comparison, that looks sick. I know it's a mall and all that, but this is a one-hander. I know it's Warcraft, so everything is over-dimensioned. That's their style. But that just looks way better than the other thing. Yeah, it punctures armor exactly. That was its use, puncturing armor and lungs. Like, there are so many in fantasy games and games in general. There's like, you know, you have the rule of cool. That's pretty much the the rule for weapon design, right? It just has to look cool. Doesn't matter if it's practical or not in the real world. At least Warcraft is a big offender of that, and I love it. Her heart was pounding. As if it was trying to escape her chest. and sweat came streaming down her face. As she tried to make any sense of what was going on. In her confusion, Vespa didn't even notice that she was sitting in complete darkness. At least not at first. At least not at first. Is Lauren said, blunt weapons are also useful to hurt someone under armor. It's a mobility trade-off due to the weight. Ah, cool. Oh, I follow this YouTuber. I don't remember what it's called. Bloomican or something. He does all these sort of things with the medieval weapons. It's really cool. Mostly bow. Mostly bow and poles. Not pole arms, but like pole dancing poles. Pole dance. He's called Bloom or something. It's this guy. Yeah, it's this guy. He is Blumenik. He is very funny, and he does all these types of things. Oh, you can't see it. Wow. This guy, Blumenik. I can definitely recommend him to check his stuff out. It's very funny. He does all sorts of things with medieval armor and weapons. It's very cool. That was just a sidetrack. It took a while for her to register that someone was frantically calling her name as well. Vespa. There was a familiarity. Isn't this the last line of today? Whatever. There was a familiarity to the voice that seemed to be coming from nowhere and everywhere at once. To the panic voice, panicked. But please answer me. Oh, it's Lauren said I played Dwarf Fortress from time to time with this stuff to actually translate to the gameplay. Oh, I can imagine. I've never played Dwarf Fortress, but I know of it, and I know, like, it is so complicated. They have so many variables and real life things like that taken into account. I commend them. I think it's wonderful, but it's wild. Using a sword against an armored enemy is futile. And a mace made out of balsa wood will not hurt anyone. That's true. Oh my god, that's so funny. Dwarf Fortress is one of those games that I love hearing about, but I could never play it. Like, it's like EVE Online. I love hearing about the giant battles there, where spaceships for millions of dollars were ruined, blown up, but I could never, ever play it. Vespa, where did you go? I'm Vespa could hardly form a sentence from the aching that had rushed to her head. I'm here I think actually going to stop there. Boom, that was it for the day. That was definitely more than 3 pages, which is all good. As Lawrence said about Dwarf Fortress, it's an acquired taste. I like the game, but I can't play it day after day. It gets a bit much, I can imagine. But I love that people love it, and that's amazing. There's something for everyone out there. That's awesome. Okay. Let's have a word count, shall we? So, the master sort of counting. There we have it. We went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. It was line number 6. That is the starting point. So we had 1. We had 2. No. We had 1. We had 2. We had 3 pages somewhere down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 pages. And 3 pages. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 pages and 4 4 lines is what I wanted to say. Oh, that felt good to get 3 pages done once again. 4 lines. That means we managed to do 1,132 words today. And that brings our total over the 90,000. It's over 90,000. Oh. That was my best Vegeta. I know it's 9,000, but 90 sounded more fun. Best Vegeta impression. All right, I will go in here so you can see the behind the scenes because that looks incredibly weird. And I will update this as soon as it will let me to 90,983 words. We are creeping ever so slightly closer to the 100,000 words. I truly do wonder if I'll be able to finish the story within 100,000 words. It's not under 90,000. That's true. Which, funnily enough, in the manga, it was 6,000. When they said it's over 6,000. And then that wasn't a big enough number for the anime, so they made it over 9,000. For some reason. Right. That was the progress, and so we move the progress, this one? Yes. We move this to over here, and the jewel is moved as well to that point. And then we go here, and we go here. And that was it for the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys in the chat. It is amazing. Isolauren, Flayslame, it's always good to have you. Miss Blogger, with your copy-pasted comment. It's great. And thanks to anyone who might be watching this on the VOD. It really means a lot, and it would mean even more if you could like this on YouTube to show your appreciation. And if you're new, subscribing. We have a lot of fun writing. I hope you saw that with this. Right. Isolauren says good night. I say good night, but first I will want you to remember that we write our own stories. Actually, next time will be in a week, Wednesday in a week, because my birthday is coming up Tuesday, and so I'm going back to my parents' house Monday evening, so I won't be able to stream. So next live stream will be Wednesday. Wednesday the 20th of May, 8 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central European summertime. All right, with that, remember we write our own stories, and good night, guys. Goodbye.